Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. Mostly.
Now, we know Christmas was a while ago. I mean, not too long ago, like basically a month ago.
Within the month, yeah.
And we know that maybe doing a Christmas movie on the podcast is weird, but like,
Listen,
every once in a while,
it is.
It
comes
along,
up.
Like, I mean, it was inevitable, right? But like, I did not expect this level of quality and craft and just a legitimately good movie. Like, I mean, every once in a while on this podcast, we get some just absolute bangers on this podcast. Like, it's kind of insane how I'm just like never knowing what to expect when I go into these movies. And then sometimes it just blows my goddamn mind how good some of these movies can be. Like, and it's kind of funny because we just started the 80s, which is our favorite decade for movies.
Mm-hmm.
And literally we're already running into just like hit after hit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to continue. I can't really expect it to continue completely. But we're in the mix, and we're in like our aesthetic. And tonight we watched a Christmas movie, and no one, absolutely no one can tell me that this is not a Christmas movie. If they did, I would tell them that they are lying, and they obviously haven't seen the movie.
No, they're frauds.
Now, we watched a movie, at the beginning of 80, which was New Year's Evil.
Which was also a banger.
Which was also awesome. Like, this is weird because we've gotten very little, like, really bad movies.
Yeah.
But now, tonight, we watched Christmas Evil. Now, there's no relation to the two.
They just happen to come out in the same year.
Completely different story, completely different cast. So, there's no relation. But I would actually go out on a limb and say this is better than New Year's Evil.
Oh, this is amazing.
Like, this is a million times better than New Year's Evil, and it gives the island a run for its money.
This movie is a fucking masterpiece. Like, I'm baffled that I wasn't aware of this movie until I started doing basically my fucking list of movies for 1980 that this came up. I was not aware that this was a movie that existed. So I wasn't like... I came in pretty blind, because I had no fucking idea. I just knew the plot.
This is one of those movies where it's like... I wish I had known it existed before now. Like, it's like one of those movies where you're thinking about it, and it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, well, why... I was today years old when I figured out about this. It's like, I was today years old when I figured out about this movie, and
when you watched Christmas
Evil,
I
was sad because I had not witnessed it beforehand, because if I did, it would be added. So I think what people need to understand...
You love Christmas.
I do love Christmas. I think it's my favorite holiday. It's my favorite time of the year. And I have this routine where I just consume a bunch of Christmas movies during the month of December.
A lot.
Like, way too many.
All the Christmas shit.
Well,
not all, but
if you saw all the movies I watched, and I'll even watch the shitty ones just to give them a chance, but I watched them all the way through. Like, yeah. I could probably start a podcast just on, like, the shitty Christmas movies I've watched. Just because I love movies, and I love film, and I love watching movies, and I love Christmas, so it just makes sense to watch Christmas movies. Now, I have my favorites, but honestly, if I had watched this before and going forward, this is going to be added
every year.
My my collection of movies that I'm going to watch. It really is, because it's really good. Like,
it's got all the... Well, listen, it's Christmas.
It is
That's all I can say.
It is drenched in holiday spirit. Like,
it's Santa Claus.
It is like beaming with holiday spirit here.
It's Santa Claus.
There's
just listen, it's just another take on Santa Claus.
Yes,
A
exactly.
very insane take, but it is Santa Claus.
And I don't know, like I think with this review we discussed right before recording this, we're just gonna take the time and discuss it. We're not gonna. It's not gonna be like a play-by-play kind of thing. We're just gonna discuss things about the movie because I think that works better for movies we really like, as well as movies we really
We just hate it and we just can't bother.
And honestly, I think this is a criminally underrated film.
Overlooked.
Overlooked. I guess I say underrated if you're going by like IMDb or like standards.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But yes, overlooked is a good word to describe it because no one knows about this movie.
I've never
Heard
about it.
And it's sad because if you like movies like Black Christmas, or if you like darker toned Christmas movies, which I like both, honestly, I can consume both. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I like any genre you can do within the Christmas thing, to kind of mix it up, is pretty good to me. You know, I don't really discriminate. It doesn't have to be a joyful Christmas movie every single time. Because Black Christmas exists, and it's really like it's
fantastic.
It's one of my favorite. Like, I love watching it. It's so good. It's so well done. Oh, sorry, the 70s one.
Not the fucking.
Let's not get.
There's been 2 remakes now.
I would say I don't know if you're in this opinion, but I actually like the 2009 remake.
It's okay.
It's kind of, I would say it's kind of too mean-spirited. I don't know. It's like, it's too flashy, I guess, too, but like.
It is very flashy.
Like, there's a lot of flash to it. I did enjoy it, though. Now, I made the mistake of watching the new Black Christmas.
Not doing it.
And it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. Not, I feel like you always have to defend your opinion on this movie or like any movie like this.
Not on that one.
No,
like,
it's just,
people hate it. Look, don't make a PG-13 slasher.
it's just not good. It's just not well done. The dialogue is terrible. It like looks okay, but that's about it. That's about the only praise I can give it. Is like it's kind of like shot well.
Well, in the year 20, in our current year, is it really a compliment for a movie to look okay?
No.
Exactly.
But we're not here about Black Christmas, okay? That's my brief opinions on Black Christmas. I'm just telling you, like the original Black Christmas is really good, and if you haven't watched it, please go watch it.
Especially if you want to see some Christmas horror.
Also, go watch this movie. I mean, I know it's not Christmas, but like I feel like you need to watch this movie because you need to get this in your brain if you love Christmas music. Christmas music. Wow. Christmas movies.
Well, there's a lot of Christmas music in it.
There is Christmas music in it, but like if you like Christmas movies at all and you like the darker tone ones like Krampus, Black Christmas,
Bad Santa,
kind of like stuff with like more adult themes and adult tones and like maybe gore and stuff like that, you owe it to yourself to watch this movie and then add it to your collection
for every year
of Christmas movies that you can watch, and also add Die Hard because I don't care what anyone says, that is a Christmas movie.
And Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon is also a Christmas movie that no one talks about. Mm-hmm. No one talks about it as a Christmas movie, but it is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anyone says.
Fuck the normies.
Yep.
Die Hard and Lethal Weapon on the list.
Absolutely. But yeah, add this one because it's really good. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, it's so well done. Like, you could tell there was a lot of care that went into this movie. Like, the scenes are set up really well. The lighting is awesome. The acting is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are believable. The script is believable. Like, everything works. And I will say, like, the cinematography and the camera work in this movie are, like, top notch for this kind of film. Like, it's weird how just beautiful this movie looks.
Uh-huh.
Like, we watched a Blu-ray rip of it. But, I mean, even seeing it in the 80s was probably like, damn, this movie looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
All the shots are really well set up. There's a lot of like really cool like tricks of the light they do, and like one really cool scene with a mob they do, which is really awesome. That I got. Oh my god, I loved it. It was so good. I know I'm talking a lot about it, but I can't get over it. This movie. It's fucking awesome. It's really good. So yeah, we're just gonna have a discussion about it, and we're just gonna kind of go over our favorite scenes, stuff like that. It's not gonna be exactly a play-by-play, so if you want to get the full story,
You should just
you
watch the
owe
movie.
it to yourself to watch the movie.
You can. It is on. I mean, you can rent it on Amazon. I'm hoping it's the HD rip, but either way, you should just watch the movie.
I'm legitimately probably gonna buy this movie. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
I did end up buying The Island, so
there is a Blu-ray of this, clearly. So, yeah.
So I don't know. Like, just go watch it if that's your kind of thing. If you like Christmas movies and you like horror movies, just go watch Christmas Evil. You owe it to yourself.
You should watch this.
I don't know. Like, where do you want to start? Because like, there's a lot to unpack here. It's not like the most like complex plot, but that's okay because it doesn't need to be. Like, it's just good for what it is because they knew what they wanted to say and they said it.
I mean, I think the best way to start is just to say that it is, if you take Taxi Driver and mix it with Christmas, it's this, because it's essentially about a guy who, when he's a kid, he, like, him and his brother and his mom watch Santa, like, you know, do his fucking shtick, and then it's all, like, magical and blah, blah, blah.
Well, and I think we should point out the brother does, in fact, say that it's his dad.
Well, because after we see all this shit happening, the brother's just like, it just like cuts, and the brother's like, that's stupid, it's just our dad.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then he goes downstairs and he hears his mom laughing, and his mom is doing the dirty. So his dad's dressed up as Santa, and he's like
Caressing her thigh.
thigh.
You can obviously tell they're about to like have sex, and the implication is that they did have sex in front of this child.
And this is how the kid learns that there's no Santa Claus.
Yes.
So he runs upstairs, and there's like a snow globe, and he fucking breaks it, cuts himself, and the rest of the movie is now our grown adult man who has a very weird, deep fascination with Christmas, and particularly Santa Claus.
Yes. He idolizes Santa Claus.
And throughout the movie, as the movie progresses, he becomes Santa Claus, quote unquote, and does Santa shit.
Quite literally, to him, like, literally becomes Santa Claus in one scene. A really well done scene. I think you mentioned this. I like how they got an actor that doesn't look like, he's not like a leading man.
He looks very normal.
He's very normal. He's just like some like guy you'd see at like the bank or just walking down the street. Like it's definitely not star power, but it works for the narrative they're trying to tell because he's just a normal dude.
And that's all.
Yeah, he's just a normal dude, and like
he's not someone you would, if you saw them, that you would remember.
And we can already tell from the setup in the beginning that the kid that grows up into the man is already unstable because like he saw that, cut himself. Like there's a lot of like anger against his brother for like saying that, which will like come to a head later in the movie
because the brother who's also grown up, they have a very rocky relationship.
Basically, the older brother resents the younger brother for always saying it was like their dad and like not believing in Santa Claus as much as the older brother did.
Yeah.
And, you know, not being like, not worshiping.
Not having the spirit.
Yeah. And, well, like, I love how this movie handles like the holiday spirit because it's basically, it is like a classic holiday movie, Taxi Driver. Like, because there's a lot of like themes that play out in a normal holiday movie that play out in this in totally different ways.
Yes.
Because there's like even that scene with like the Christmas spirit, and like we see what happens when you don't have Christmas spirit.
You see the extreme consequences of that.
Yeah, it's like there's a scene where he's watching children, and like it's like it starts out really creepy, but then you just realize that he literally thinks he's like one of Santa's helpers at that point, and is watching which boys and girls are like naughty and nice, and it is still creepy. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Because he's like standing on like the roof of his like apartment, like hiding in like a corner with binoculars and looking in all the windows, and he sees one of the kids like with a fucking Penthouse magazine like folding out a nude lady, and so he runs down and like
he has all these books.
He has a book of good kids and a book of naughty kids, and he just makes like handwritten notes for each child in his neighborhood.
But I also love this scene because it shows like how long he's had this, because he has a bookshelf just full of these books. He's been doing this for
years.
He's like done it every single time, but
the implication is that now this year the term he keeps saying is that he's finally learned the tune.
Yes. He keeps talking about a tune and how like people can't hear the tune, which is basically like Christmas spirit. Like people can't get into the Christmas spirit.
But when you're an adult, you don't give a shit about Christmas.
But like he's going to like bring back Christmas.
Santa's coming.
Yes. Now it's like very dark because he's obviously watching these kids. That's really wrong. Like there's a lot of stuff, but like it's kind of interesting how they frame it. Like he full-heartedly believes he's doing the right thing.
Yes.
Like every single moment, and they don't like shy away from that. They don't like make it seem like he's like absolutely crazy or like seem like he has justifications within his own mind,
within his head,
of why he needs to do all this stuff.
Because another thing is
even
like,
watch children and stuff like that, which is like normally really creepy, and it is creepy in the film. Don't get me wrong.
But he thinks he's
doing the right thing. Like he thinks
he's making the list and checking it twice.
List. He's like seeing all the like the naughty children, the one that's looking at like the porn magazine, and then like the good ones that are like. But he's
nice to their parents and all that shit.
And like the movie makes sure to like not frame this in like a sexual way. Like he doesn't like watch the children in a sexual way or anything like that. At least that's implied in the movie. But like there's a reason he's doing all this to like win over the kid's favor, and that plays a huge part in like the kind of the last part of the movie.
More than that, it starts paying off like halfway through.
Yes. Because
we see him like he has a little toy shop, and it's just like a fucking weird room with like these very like haphazardly put together toys, and he makes toys for the good kids, and then for the bad kids he just goes and digs up dirt. He just goes to a random like pile of dirt and just puts it in like a bag, and instead of a sleigh, he has a van, a creepy van, where he paints, like, crudely hand paints, like, a sleigh on the side.
Like, this dude is, like, it's straight up...
It's dedication.
It's straight up dedication. It's really... They make it, like, really creepy, right? Like, you're supposed to think this is creepy. But it's kind of weird, because in the movie, he actually does some pretty, like, good things. Like, he does some stuff that's, like, actually, like, widely considered as like a really good thing, like because all in his mind he's morally justified to do all this stuff, and he's not inherently a bad person, and it's kind of weird saying that, because like they're not framing it like that. They're not framing it like he's like inherently a bad person. He's just kind of like,
well, it's like Taxi Driver.
Yes.
I mean, in Taxi Driver, there's no, like, good or bad.
It's
just a movie.
I just like how they frame that. Like, they know who this character is, but, like, you can decide whether...
It's just a movie.
Yeah, you can decide... If you really want to dig into it, you can decide whether you think he's, like, really, like, morally wrong, or if he's right in some spectrum and stuff like that.
It's just a story of a guy in New Jersey who
But they never
goes crazy.
But they never paint him to be this like hyper evil or anything like that. Like it's not like he's like a insane serial killer. He's just doing what he thinks is right, and he fucks up a lot along the way. And
that's putting it mildly.
He does some he does do a lot of evil things, but he also does good things in the movie too. So it's kind of weird how they do that like juxtaposition of like him doing a really, really good thing, and then immediately after doing the fucking worst thing you can do. Like it's weird.
Like Taxi Driver.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Listen, it does.
No, I'm just saying that back in the day, you could make a movie about a crazy person, and it was just a movie. You didn't need to paint it as, oh, this is good, or oh, this is bad.
Right.
No, it was just a movie. It's just a character existing for an hour and a half, and you don't need to moralize it. And that's what I love. You don't have to fucking be like, oh, this is a bad guy, or this is a good... No, it's just a movie.
Well, because he's really neither. I don't know. Like, he's just a person. Like, he's just kind of like a dude that just has totally snapped.
Yep.
Like, he is living in an alternate reality at this point, where he thinks... He literally, at one point, thinks he's Santa Claus. And so, like, he can carry out divine justice as Santa Claus to anyone who doesn't believe in him.
Who doesn't have the spirit.
And who doesn't have the spirit. And so, like, it's one of the most festive Christmas movies I've seen that has such a dark subject matter. It's kind of crazy. But, like, I don't know. Like, again, it's like, yeah, he's just existing. Like, you just... And... I go back to the acting, like, it's totally believable, too.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, since they chose, like, a normal-looking guy, it makes it even more believable. Now, you know, because, like, I say the good things he does donate, like, a bunch of toys to, like, a hospital.
Well, his company, because he works at a toy factory, which, again, fitting. And... his thing is that he complains that no one else at the toy factory really gives a shit about toys.
And he's actually right about that.
And no one cares, and like everyone kind of makes fun of him. No one really listens to what he says. There's one guy in particular who like basically forces him to work his shift when he doesn't want to.
Yeah,
just total dick.
Kind of like filled with like a bunch of assholes. Like one of them.
Well, it's not that they're assholes. It's just to them. It's a job you go to for 8 hours a day, and then you fuck off.
Yep.
But to him...
it's like a lifestyle.
It's toys. It's children.
Well, because there's even that scene where the CEO or the manager of the plant is talking to
the initiative.
Well, and he's like a program designer for like their ads and stuff, and he like
the marketing guy.
He designed a marketing ad where they say they're going to donate toys to like a children's hospital, right?
It's like for every toy you buy, like they'll donate it to this like hospital for mentally challenged children.
But like, you know, so that's like to the naked eye that like seems great, right? That seems awesome. And
well, he's talking to them and he's like
he gets like manic about it because he wants to know how many children are in that hospital, and if the guy knows how many children, and he's like, I don't know how many children are in that hospital.
And he's like, so you don't even know like if we can deliver? And he's like, no, because I mean,
because like, how would you? That would be like from a company standpoint,
yeah,
that would be like nuts to like go and look how many children and then sell.
But to him, toys. It's like how dare you?
To him, you have to do that. Like you have to donate to every single child that's at that like coming from a good place, but like going about it kind of the wrong way.
So he but like this pisses him off, so he leaves the party and dresses up like Santa.
And I love this scene because this is where he just like finally like he's already kind of like unstable and like he's thinking all this crazy stuff, and then in this scene he finally just snaps and quote unquote becomes Santa Claus.
Because earlier in the movie there's a bunch of scenes of like him like putting together the pieces of the suit, like the pillow he's gonna wear under his stomach to make his belly look big. His fucking sewing his suit together, and then in the
Like
scene,
you mentioned, the sleigh.
Yeah.
Him painting the side of the
His
van
van.
with the sleigh.
and in this scene he
Making
puts on
toys.
his Santa beard, and he starts like tugging at it, and it's like implying that like he can't rip his beard off because
Because he glued it to his face.
he am become Santa.
Yes. And he like starts laughing maniacally. It's a really well done scene.
And he starts, and he goes to this like mental hospital, and
Just
shows up there
Well, because he steals a bunch of toys from the
from the toy factory, puts him in like a very like a makeshift shitty bag, and
then
just goes there and
donates a shit ton of toys to these kids. And like everyone loves him for it and everything. And
Yeah.
then, like I said, juxtaposition. Then the very next scene, he drives up to like, because he's gonna go. I think he's trying to confront the manager of the
Yeah.
plant and the PR guy, the guy that like said he didn't know.
because they're at like a church watching like Christmas hymns, and they're just kind of falling asleep like and whatever. But he
And-
shows up there and
He just stands outside the church,
and everyone's like laughing.
and these like these four like, you know, two guys and two women walk up to him, and the men and one of the women start like kind of like harassing, well, not like really harassing him, just like kind of
making fun of
teasing him, like saying like, oh, like what's like, where are you going, why are you here, like why aren't you delivering
Where's your
toys?
sleigh? Like, why'd you get a van instead?
Yeah.
And just kind of teasing him.
And I guess like he just has finally had enough, because he grabs one of the toy soldiers that has like a sword, and he stabs one of the guys in the eye.
And then he takes out like a hatchet.
The close-up and the effects on this scene are actually really well done.
Yeah.
Like, it looked really gross when he stabbed the like toy soldier into the dude's eye,
Yeah, because you get like a
because it
close
like
up of
popped and like where there was like blood gushing out of it and stuff. And then he takes out a hatchet, like just like smashes it down on like each of their heads, but
and
then
kills three of them.
leaves the one woman that wasn't teasing him
Yeah.
alive.
But yeah, it's like you don't have Christmas spirit, so they get murdered.
Again, the classic trope of that one scene where no one has Christmas spirit, but they have to get the spirit up because they have to like make
Because Christmas has to
Santa's sleigh fly or something
Yeah.
like that, you know, because Christmas has to live on, and like
be.
this is like the ultimate, like he just thinks that these guys don't have any Christmas spirit, so
fuck 'em.
They deserve to die.
Well, there's also like a scene where he's like, you know, the fucking kid who wants a lifetime subscription to Penthouse.
He delivers that was
Well,
like
he,
he was
like-
digging up the dirt.
Well, because he goes outside of his house and like puts like mud on his face, and like marks his house.
Yeah,
like
like-
Santa's assistant
Like
would.
Black Peter, yeah.
And he marks the house, and so he just puts a pile of dirt come Christmas Eve on his fucking porch.
Yep. And I mean, he doesn't kill any of the kids in the movie. I will like say that, but like I get the feeling that he probably would have killed more people if things hadn't gone down the way.
Well, there was the scene where he's hiding in the bushes,
And he like tries to grab the
and he
kid.
tries to grab him. I mean, you can kind of, I mean, we can only guess what
But
that's implying.
He kind of showed restraint, so maybe he was like kind of on his point to like snapping, and maybe thought about it but then didn't do it. I don't know. There's a lot of like little scenes like that where
Well, there's I mean, I know in some Christmas myths, when if like Black Peter marks your house as you being one of the
don't
bad
they
children,
take the kids?
I think it's like a thing in yeah, it's a thing in I know it's a thing in like Hispanic culture especially, where he'll mark your house before Christmas, and then when Christmas comes around, when Black Peter visits again, if he sees that the child is still being bad, he snatches them.
Yes.
Which in that scene, as he's hiding in the bush, he kind of reaches out to like. I think
So maybe that was like
that's the implication.
Maybe they're implying that he thought he was Black Peter at that point, and like
Because in that scene,
had become
he
like,
has the
Black Peter. Yeah. Like
mud on his face.
I'm sure that's what they were implying. That
Yeah.
he became, because he like once he dons like an outfit, he becomes that person.
What's his justification in his head? Because obviously he doesn't have assistants.
Yeah,
So there's
exactly.
there's no elves. Or there's a scene where he goes to, like, he's all dressed up as Santa, and after a bunch of shit happens, he goes to the factory and he, like, turns on the fucking conveyor belts. And they're all just, like, rolling and all the toys are just falling off. But he goes and stands on, like, this, like ladder and just stands there with, like, his hands across his waist, like he's Santa looking at his fucking toy shop, but then
Yep.
there's nobody there.
Well, and he constantly criticizes the quality of the toys that the factory makes too, and like figures he can always make better toys that are made of like better quality products.
He makes them out of, like, metal.
Like they're not broken, because there's
Yeah.
a scene where he like goes down one of the chimneys, or well, at least tries to go down one of the chimneys and gets stuck because he put too much stuffing in his outfit.
Yeah, and I mean, Santa goes down chimneys, so he tries, and in real life, can't do it.
And so he struggles out of it, finally like gets back down the ladder and finds an open window and goes through it and like starts like delivering presents. And like I don't know, it's not this scene, but he does accidentally cut one of the like the presents, because he like uses a knife to cut open his presents, and he actually cuts one of the
That's when he's in his home
yeah, he cuts one of the
boxes.
boxes and like accidentally cuts the heads off of two of the plastic toys from the toy factory, and like scoffs at
The bad quality.
the bad quality.
Because he thinks children deserve, like, sturdy toys, and
like well-made
like
toys.
he rants to his coworkers about this, and they're all just like, "Dude, I'm on my fucking lunch break."
Like a lot people just are like this, but like no one confronts him about
No.
like what he's saying. They all just kind of laugh it off and like just kind of ignore him.
Yeah.
Which is a common theme in these kind of movies.
These
Just
taxi driver-esque films, I guess. What do you
people
wanna call
just
them?
ignoring this kind of behavior and not
The
even
red flags.
It's like totally left unchecked and like
Until
unmanaged until they finally just snap.
uh-huh.
And then in this scene, he also goes to the guy.
The dickhead from his work.
He's in the house, and he's in the house of the guy that made him work his shift while he went and got drunk at a bar. Again,
Because his excuse was, he said something about, like, how I need you to work my shift because, like, I have to, like, spend time with my family.
on a vacation
with his wife,
and his wife wanted them to go early, is what he said.
But he finds out it's bullshit. He just wanted to get drunk at a bar.
Yeah. But this guy's just existing in this world. But like, the dude, he was kind of a dick. But like, they don't make him like a total like evil person.
No,
Like he has a family. Like
he's got 2 kids that we see.
Like, yeah, he wanted to go get drunk and didn't want to work. Who hasn't felt that way?
Yeah, like,
who hasn't felt like they wanted to leave work early and go get drunk at a bar?
From his job where he has to stand in an assembly line at a toy factory.
And it's he made a guy work a shit shift, but because no one else would cover for him, and he knew this guy was like easily
just kind of a pushover.
Yeah, it's like they kind of paint him as a dickhead, but they don't paint him as like this like overtly evil person, right? But anyway, so he goes into sees the children, and as he's like giving the gifts and everything. And then he steps into the room of this dude
and like stands over him and
like
is just
wakes him up.
And it's just like, oh, like, Frank, like, you're not a kid anymore. You can't always like get what you ask for. And he takes his fucking toy bag and starts choking him with it.
Mm-hmm. Starts like trying to suffocate him.
And then his wife like starts waking up. So they have like a little mini Christmas tree, and there's like the topper, the star on top, and he takes it and slashes the guy's throat.
And like the guy lands on top of the woman, and she can't even scream because she's in so much shock.
And then he's like leaving the house, and he sees the kids, and he smiles, and
they smile.
The fucking scream starts. The wife starts screaming.
It's crazy because for like a split second during this huge murder scene, they have like a Christmas like nod, like the kids like smile at Santa, and Santa smiles at them.
There's also multiple scenes of him like earlier where he stands in front of mirrors and like practices his fucking like.
Well, he even practiced like how to like correctly say Merry Christmas at the children's hospital.
Yeah, he was just standing outside and like practicing how he's gonna say it and how he's gonna like rub his nose and smile.
Because we even get that wholesome scene like a little bit before this where he like crashes a Christmas party and like everyone loves him
because he's just standing outside of this party, and
this is right after he murdered the people. And so like,
and he's standing outside this party, and these people just see him in the window, and they're like, "Oh, like, well, come in."
You think they're gonna make fun of him again because they bring him in and like he's like pushed into the circle, and you think, oh fuck, okay, it's gonna be another like massacre.
But no, they're all like,
no, they all accept him, say Merry Christmas. He dances with like all of them. It gives the children gifts.
Well, all the kids show up too, and they're like Santa, and then he gives them presents, and then tells them like, be good to your parents, and if you don't, I'll
give you something very.
You'll get something you'll never forget.
Yeah, like he says something very menacing, and like only one of the women like react like weirdly to this.
Well, because he says it, and then there's like silence, and then he starts laughing, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's joking."
It's weird that they showed the one woman that had like a weird reaction to it, but
and then, just tells them like, "I'll see you guys next year."
Yep,
and it's fine.
And then chases out. So there's like wholesome shit, and then there's horrific shit. It's like. You get both. It's like a festive movie and a horror movie. It's beautiful. It works really well. They make it work really well. Because when it all reaches a head, like, it just gets nuts, but it's like totally believable why this would all happen.
We also get, before all the Christmas shit kind of goes down, he goes to his brother's house, his younger brother's house, who's grown up now and lives in their childhood home. And he just stands in like the window and watches him like with his family for a little bit, and then watches him like have sex with his wife.
Yeah, like
and
weird shit.
And then like with the younger brother, like you can tell that like he's trying to like talk to the older brother.
You kind of get the idea that maybe the younger brother kind of like knows that the older brother is a little unstable.
Oh,
like
he 100% knows.
Like something like really bad happened, but they have like this like really like almost like not strained, not like toxic relationship, but yeah, strained relationship because the older brother's always blaming the younger brother for
that
like,
and like
stuff.
The younger brother he's always angry that the older brother is like he always needs to be bailed out. He's always unstable, and
like there's a scene where they're watching the Thanksgiving Day parade, and like the brother doesn't want to come over because he's like making the Santa outfit.
Well, that and like he's watching the fucking parade and watching like them wheel out Santa.
Right.
But they assumed that he was gonna come over for dinner,
and he doesn't.
And then he calls them while watching the parade, and he's like, "I can't come," and he's immediately like, "What the hell?"
But I almost think in that scene, the younger brother was only doing it because the wife and the kids like the
because the wife was telling him don't say anything like mean to him or weird to him, like just let him just try to have a normal Christmas.
Yeah,
but can't.
Nope.
Because come Christmas Eve, so all the news is out that there's some fucking murderer on the streets dressed as Santa.
They were like profiling Santas, and they're like, none of these guys are it. Someone said that they had darker like fur.
Yeah.
And so all these guys are in like these really fake like manufactured like Santa outfits, not a made one.
It's all these like fucking like mall Santas.
Yeah. So it's basically like the one of the dudes at the church was like, no, he had darker fur, and it was like a handmade outfit.
Yeah. But everyone knows now, because even they set up the news, like, just like be careful of like anybody dressed up as Santa Claus.
Yes.
So it's like inadvertently he's kind of ruined it, because now it's Christmas Day and he's still kind of going about his shit.
Yeah, he's just like driving around. He's like he like gets stuck in the snow at one point
and he gets stuck in the snow and starts walking, and it's like this street that's just fucking decorated.
Oh, it's like bright as hell with like Christmas decorations,
reindeer and everything. And then he's walking, and he gets into this alleyway, and he hears like kids and they come up to him and they're all like happy to see him, but then the parents come out and they're like terrified.
I almost think was he like on his way home at this point, or was he like?
I think he was on his way to visit the his brother, because that's where he ends up going.
Yeah.
But the parents are like horrified.
Well, because they
know,
pretty much know, because he's all covered in dirt at this point,
and he looks like unstable at this point.
Yeah,
like his face is all fucking dirty and ratty, and he just doesn't.
And he has like the darker fur that they've heard on the news and everything. Like, they know.
But the kids are just happy, and he starts giving them presents and.
Well, because he knows he's gonna create basically a shield of children by giving them presents, because they think he's actually Santa Claus.
Well, the parents start like confronting him, and the kids just like start like standing there like guarding him, and like that one of the dads pulls out a knife, and the girl starts fighting him for it, and it's fucking insanity.
Yep,
it's fucking insanity.
They tussle with it, and the little girl, a little tiny girl, picks up the knife
and hands it to him,
and hands it to Santa Claus. And like,
so the fucking parents don't kill him, and then he starts running away, and one of the women like takes
like her brooch.
She has a brooch and stabs him in the cheek.
Yep.
And they form like a neighborhood lynch mob.
The setting up of the mob is like seriously really cool imagery. Like, because they'll do like this thing where they light the torches, and then it'll have a shot of them raising it up really quickly.
But it's just like all black.
It looks really cool. Like, like I said, the shots in this movie are really well set up, and they look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything looks really good.
Yeah, they just start chasing him around this neighborhood.
So he goes, and I also love. Maybe this is getting too deep in the movie, but I love this mob scene, because the entire rest of the movie is just everything's about Christmas. It's like it's fucking everywhere.
There's decorations
everywhere, and in this scene when he's running away from the mob,
there's nothing.
There's not a Christmas decoration in sight.
It's just
dark
alleyways.
Yep, him desperately trying to run away from this mob that is basically going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's not a there's no Christmas music, there's no Christmas decorations. It's just him in a Santa outfit, desperately trying to get away from this mob.
It's great.
So he runs away, runs into the alley. I love this. Oh God, I love this scene. You need to watch the movie, because the scene is really well set up. So he runs into an alley. He hides from him. They run one way, and then he like gets up and like runs the other way, and then they turn around. But he doesn't see their turning around.
But they come around like the other building, basically.
So he's like up against a wall, and he thinks he's safe. So he like starts walking down this alley, and then like as he's walking down, in the background, you see all these torches start running after him, and he looks behind him and like starts running. Like, and I know that's a simple explanation, but like the shot is so
because the camera just
so cool
starts like running along with them, and it's just this like I don't know, I guess they must have like mounted it on like a fucking doll, like a quick, I don't even know, on like a fucking like a scooter or something.
Yeah.
And they just started quickly wheeling it back, but it's really cool.
Yeah, it looks really well, like it's really well shot.
And then he gets to his car, takes off, shows up at his brother's house.
Yep.
And his brother opens the door and is immediately like, I knew it.
Like, I knew what did you do? And like even the kids are there, and they're like, don't hurt Uncle. I can't remember his name, but like they're like, because they know it's not Santa, but like they're like, don't hurt him, don't like hurt him, and like even the wife is like don't do anything, and he's like, take the kids upstairs. I'm gonna like.
And his wife sits on the stairs in the same position
looking
that they were sitting,
looking through the pillars of the
stairs
of the stairwell
as they're arguing, and he basically just tells them like it all started with you, like you were the one who didn't believe, and like now like you're just like those people out there trying to kill me.
And the brother gets really upset, and he's like, quit blaming me for things like that I did when I was 6.
Yeah, like basically
he's like, I didn't know any better.
Quit blaming me for your like. Basically, quit blaming me for you becoming a fucking lunatic.
Yes. And so the brother gets really, really mad and starts choking the brother out. And even the wife calls and like says for him to stop, but he doesn't, and like basically knocks the brother. I thought he was dead. It implies that he was dead.
Well, Will, I can tell you that it's possible he is, and what follows is just
maybe the brother is thinking that something else happened. Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So he takes the brother and like takes
his lifeless body and stuffs him back into his fucking van, and then like he's just standing there, and Santa Claus wakes up
and punches him
and knocks his brother the fuck down.
Yep.
And drives away with the mob still running after him.
And the brother starts like kind of regretting it. And, like, he runs after the brother, too.
He runs after the van.
And, he, like, the mob is chasing him and everything. And then the van, in some way or another, like, after a couple scenes, like, it finally veers off this, like, road.
It's like...
And the brother gets, like, shoved off.
It goes through, like, a fence, essentially.
Because the brother trips down this hill where the truck is, or where the van is going to, like,
where
go
it's
off.
veering off.
Yeah. And then, like, as the van's, like, veering off, it, like, starts to, like, take off.
Well, the van hits, like, goes through the fence, and we just see, like, the brother, like, kind of, like, staring up at something.
Yeah.
And then we see the van going through the fence, and it's just going
The crazy
up.
part is, at the very end of this movie, he literally says...
Well, you need to mention that we see it's like driving and not falling, and then we get like the moon.
Yep, and it's like driving up and up and up, and like you hear sleigh bell sounds.
You hear sleigh bell sounds. They specifically, like, as it's taking off, like they specifically zoom in on the fucking hand painted Santa sleigh on the back.
Well, and he's like, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night," and it turns towards the moon and flies off into the distance.
And then
like
the credits roll.
And the credits roll. Like, I didn't know how this movie was going to end, but that is like one of the perfect ways to end this movie.
I love the ending because there is so many ways you can take that.
It's ambiguous, right?
Because like I said, it's entirely possible that he is dead, and that what follows is just like the brother having a mental fucking breakdown.
It could, honestly, it could be the brother's dead, so the younger brother drove his lifeless body and the van off that ravine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he like, remember how he stumbles down? He like rolls down like he's jumping out of a car.
Yeah.
Possible. It could be that like the younger brother killed his older brother
and then had a fucking mental break.
Yeah. And then veered that van and like saw his older brother like taking off into
becoming
the sky.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Or he didn't kill him, and our Santa just fucking flew through a fucking fence, died, but at the last moment, imagine himself fucking taken off.
Or if you really just fucking mentally snapped, he did become Santa Claus and flew off into the distance.
Guess what? He did become Santa Claus at the end of the movie.
And flew off into the distance like he was Santa Claus the whole time.
And the great thing is, you can believe anything you want.
Yeah, it's ambiguous, and that's what I like about it. I don't think this movie needed like a grand ending, right? Because it's just...
I disagree. That is grand.
It is pretty grand, you're right.
That is fucking epic.
But there's not like, you know, he doesn't go out in like a shootout or anything like that. There was no like quick end to him.
But Will, if they did that, it wouldn't be Christmassy.
It's true. And like that is like honestly one of the most Christmassy ways they could have ended this movie.
That is perfect.
It is beautiful because he just flies off into the distance with sleigh bells like he became Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas! And the fucking van flies off.
How else were you going to end one of the most Christmassy horror movies I've ever seen in my entire life? Like, I don't know, like, it's just insane how festive this movie is.
This movie's great.
It gives you like hardcore Christmas feels.
This movie's fantastic.
There's a lot going on in this movie. I loved pretty much every single second of it. I don't even think I have many nitpicks.
I don't have any.
I'd have to search for some nitpicks because it's just not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie in any regard. And like,
I don't have any nitpicks. This is fantastic. This is a fantastic fucking movie.
It is. And again, I'm going to watch this every Christmas, I think, because it's good. It's that good. It's that good that I can repeat watch this.
It's got all the shit you need, and it is, I mean, look, if you... This is Santa Claus canon. As far as I'm concerned, this is Santa Claus canon.
Yes.
Like, I'm shocked. Like, no one's bothered making, like, a fucking, oh, I'm gonna do a gritty, realistic take on Santa Claus. It's like, well, guess what? You don't fucking need to do that. Because in 1980, someone kind of did.
Yes.
Someone basically took a fucking dark, like, grimy drama and crossed it with Christmas. And it's great.
Yeah. It's such a good movie. You need to see it. Like,
You have to watch this.
it's so good. I don't know. I don't know what else. I'm trying to think of, like, bad things, like being like, oh, well, like, you could, like,
No.
take away this, but no, it's not a bad movie. It's not. It's, like, overlooked, like you said. Criminally overlooked.
Overlooked and underrated, because, I mean, look, it's on the podcast for a reason. So, I don't know why.
I don't get why people would watch this movie and not like it. Maybe
Too dark. I don't know.
I don't know, like, you know.
I mean, like I said, the thing about it is that it is ambiguous, and I'm sure there's some people who can't stand that, and I'm also sure there's some people who can't stand the fact that it's an hour-and-a-half movie where you spend 90% of it with a crazy person.
I kind of like it because it doesn't really make fun of him, right?
No.
Like, it's kind of, like, interesting how they kind of just keep it in this frame of,
This is just what it is.
this is actually what he just believes.
Yes.
Like, it's no one else's reality but his.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, like, he is, like, snapped. He's completely, like, gonzo. But, like, to his mind, he's doing the exact right thing that he needs to do. Like, everything he's doing is totally justifiable and totally, like, okay.
Yeah.
And they don't ever paint it in any other frame than that. They just, like, are like, here's this guy. He's completely snapped and he loves Christmas and, you know, like, he wants to become Santa Claus and he does become Santa Claus and that's his reality. And here
It's
you
almost
just get to watch him for a while.
It's almost like it's a movie for adults, Will.
Yeah.
Not fucking children who can't.
I would never show a child this.
Oh, I would. I'd be like, this is what's going to happen to you if you're bad. You want to see Christmas?
This is like what I imagine happens to those people that, like, shop at, like, shop the Christmas aisles, like, year round. Like, if they would, like, have just a mental breakdown.
This is a portrait into the lives of those people.
Like, just someone who, like, has a total mental, like, snap, but, like, is obsessed with Christmas decorations and Santa Claus.
This movie's how I feel about people who start fucking thinking about Christmas before Halloween's even over.
Right.
This is those people
who keep their Christmas trees up year round. This is them if they had just a total psychotic breakdown.
Not because they're lazy, but because
they legitimately just wanted.
Because in the fucking movie, he has, like, a fucking board in his room, and in the beginning of the movie, it's like 55 days until Christmas.
Well, he actually has like Christmas decorations, like, all the time, all over his house,
and he sleeps in his fucking, like, makeshift outfit.
Yes.
His Santa outfit.
And he also, like, always, like, shaves his, he shaves, but he always puts a Santa beard on before he does and, like, laughs like Santa.
Laughs like Santa?
So, yes, this is, like, anyone you see year-round shopping for Christmas decorations.
This is them.
This is them if they had just a total fucking meltdown.
This is them if you annoy them too much at work.
Yes, if they just fucking snap, become Santa Claus, and God help you if you don't believe in Santa Claus.
You gotta have
because
spirit.
You will get fucking murdered. This movie's great. I think it's a good narrative. It's a good, like, just fun ride for, like, an hour and a half, and like I keep saying, I can't help it, but it's just, like, it's so well done. Like, the shots are well done. It looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The acting is actually pretty decent. Like, everyone in this movie looks like just normal people. And I kind of like that. It's, like, there's no, like, big, like, handsome or, like, attractive...
I mean, it's very...
like, overly attractive celebrities or anything like that.
It's very indie.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because I think it makes it more believable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just him having a psychotic breakdown and then people reacting to how he's acting.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of crazy how they show like how the kids love him and he loves the kids
Because they believe in Santa.
But then you get that scene where the parents are legitimately like horrified at this dude because you should be. If
And
you saw your kids
using their kids as like a fucking crutch.
like armor. Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's basically using the kids as armor and like, you know, the parents are justifiably horrified at this. But we've just been watching our dude the whole time. So you don't get like too much of the parents like outside perspective. But like that
'Cause it's a character study.
that one scene you do like get that perspective and like it's kind of cool to see because
I mean, it's a character study.
you kind of see how he's just like dissolving into this fucking like just crazy
Fantasy
guy.
world.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. It's just really good. That's all I can say about it. I keep saying it's really good because it is. It's fantastic. It's a good Christmas movie.
I mean, I don't imagine it would be too shocking to know what the shitty to pretty on this is.
I'd give it a 10 to be honest. I'm not even going to lie. Like instantly because there's almost nothing to hate. At least in my opinion, there's almost nothing to hate about this movie.
Well, I gave this a 10 as soon as the credits started.
Yes.
As soon as he fucking flies away in his shitty van and they do the Santa Claus narration and it rolls to credits, in my head I was like, yeah, 10 out of 10.
It's perfect. I don't know. It's gonna be hard for me to pick the best of the best, to be honest, because like I think we even gave The Island a 9 out of 10.
No, we gave Island a 10.
Was it a 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember, but
I remember we gave. I know we gave something a 9, but it wasn't The Island. We gave that a fucking 10. That was a fucking beast.
The Island is great. I legitimately love that movie as well.
But you should be afraid
But
because
we'll have like a possibly like in your like from what you're telling me, we have a third contender for best of the best.
It's gonna be hard. That one's gonna be hard to top for me. But we also have a bottom feeder coming up.
I think next one is gonna tank. Like, I think we have the worst of the worst in our next one.
It's coming.
So,
I know.
Oh Lord, he coming.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord, he coming. Yeah, I don't know. But for now, I'm gonna relish in the fact that we have just this
Gems.
incredible Christmas movie that I'm going to get into the season with again and again.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching this again.
Absolutely.
That's undisputable.
Absolutely. Black Christmas and Christmas Evil.
These are the two Christmas horror movies you need.
I honestly, I know you probably are not a fan, but I would say Krampus as well.
It's all right.
I like Krampus a lot.
It's no Christmas Evil.
It's no Christmas Evil, no. But like, I'm gonna watch those three. Like Krampus is going to be part of my horror viewing.
No, I'm only gonna watch Black Christmas 2019.
Oh, Rare Exports is another good one.
Yeah,
I like that one. It's kind of weird, but
I don't know if I can watch it every year, but
I'm not gonna watch it every year
because
it's
good.
Yeah, it's very odd and strange and like very. It's just not like any other horror movie.
It's a different take on Santa.
Absolutely.
Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
Kind of like this, but this is much more.
But this is like psychotic Santa, and I'm here for it. You know, I'm totally here for it. If you couldn't tell by now, we really like the movie because we can't stop fucking saying it. And that's all I really have to say. Just go watch it.
That's
really.
it. Yeah, watch the movie.
Go fucking watch Christmas Evil and have just a blast doing it. I don't care that it's not Christmas anymore.
We watched it. You can too. So fucking do it.
Do it. And
that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So for They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all later.
And to all a good night.
To all a good night.
Bye.